Hello, Gemini. What's up? This is Sage, and welcome to your reading. As you can see, I've already laid out the cards, and I'm going to be reading it from here to there. Um, so let's begin. Let me just give you a rundown of what the spread is all about. This is your masculine, and this is your feminine, right? And here we have the archetype cards on this red ribbon with the time turner from Harry Potter. um, I feel like we're definitely, with this reading, we're sort of like going back in time to when you were a child, when these archetypes were just ready to flourish but never got the chance. So we're going back in time, picking it from there and letting it flourish here, if that makes any sense. Um, yeah, but this is where we start at, and I'm using food fortunes to show you exactly what you are right now because you're you're tasty, Gemini. You're tasty. Oh, okay. So we have, for the masculine, we have the folded one, which honestly looks pretty feminine to me. I don't know about you, but I definitely know where my mind is going. You know, this is going to very feminine places in my head. Um, but that's interesting that the masculine is the folded one. It feels very containery, which is apt for the masculine. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling a bit, what's going on here? And for your feminine, the feminine is coming up as the king of mains, very masculine. Um, but it's also like this very juicy, hearty steak, something that can really fill you up. So it looks like your feminine side is substantial. It's a whole meal. And this one looks like, taco, the folded one. It's like a snack. Depends on how you fill it up, I guess. But it looks like a snack to me. So your masculine side is like that. Um, but you know what I'm also getting for the masculine side? I am getting that um, your masculine side doesn't really have any substance. It has to like borrow from other things and sort of package it, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I feel like your masculine side has been grasping around for a sense of identity, um, whereas your feminine side just has it. So that's very interesting. And now these cards are the ones that are going to explain to us how we can get to these archetypes, right? So let's see what we have here. We have the greatest miracle, but upside down. Let's just lay it right there. And then we have alertness, but also upside down. Interesting. So let me just pull out clarifiers for this. Um, yeah, the great miracle, upside down, with play as clarifier. Okay. Interesting. And then for alertness, what is the clarifier? A cup of tea, sensitivity. Okay, I feel like, you know what, we can totally turn it around, right? The greatest miracle for your masculine side is to uncover joy, to be playful. It's not about technique, it's not about impressive anything. You know, that's that's what I feel this was all about. Like, um, the folded one does not have any substance of its own. It's sort of just like holding something else inside, you know. Um, but there is a playfulness to you. There could be a playfulness to you, if you were to focus on that, and he's the one with the T. So alertness. I know the imagery looks a bit weird. The story behind it is also weird. Osho is weird, you know. His decks. I have the Oracle deck, I have the Transformation Tarot deck, which is what this is. And they're weird, okay? But like, the essence of it is that the feminine needs to awaken. The feminine is the side of you that is sensuous, you know. It needs to awaken, and the best way to awaken it is maybe to drink tea. There are different flavors of tea, um, or maybe use perfume. There are different ways you can sort of like stimulate this sensual side of yours. The best way is through your nose, actually. Um, I feel like a lot of people underestimate one's sense of smell and what it can do. Females are very scent driven sometimes. No, a lot of times actually. The smell of a man, the smell of his, um, jacket and everything, it communicates a lot of safety and, stuff like that. You smell roses, things like that. So, yeah, something that can help your feminine side is more alertness through awakening your senses. And something that can help your masculine side gain a little more substance is focusing on what truly is the greatest miracle. It's joy. It's accumulating more joy. It's developing more play in your life. Your masculine side needs to be a little playful, needs to be a little adventurous, joyful, um, and let's see what can help with that. So we have, I think that's birch, and then we have heather. So we have birch here and we have heather, okay, and birch is all about cleansing. Um, Birch is about cleansing, clarity, new beginnings. You kind of need a fresh slate or a fresh new playground if you want to play, right? And heather, this is for unconditional love. This is a symbol for unconditional love and just softness all around, you know. So let's see what that's going to do here. worth, the sense of worth. So it's going to increase your sense of worth quite a lot. Now, all of this makes sense, right? If your masculine side has been all about just gathering things from here and there and packing it all up together in order to make some sort of identity to show to people, like, like, oh, I've done this, I've done that, look, 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 this is what I am, that, ugh, um, that doesn't really feed your sense of worth. Joy does. The ability to always make a person laugh does. The ability to look straight into a really serious situation and laugh, well, not laugh, not just make light of it. We're talking about um, finding the silver lining in every dark cloud. Um, we're talking about transmuting serious, heavy energy into play. Laughter can be incredibly cleansing too. And that's what your masculine side is supposed to bring in. Okay. And it will truly develop your sense of worth. Like the taco never could. The taco version of your masculinity never could. Okay, so let's see. With this, yes, your feminine side has a lot of substance to it. It is juicy, it is hearty, it is just full and rich, right? But there's this element to you where the feminine is sort of unconscious or sleeping, and you need to wake it up with elements of sensuousness, like scents, like tea, like anything to really awaken your senses, anything to really make you go like, ooh, ah, that's wonderful, and yeah, the feminine definitely needs a lot of unconditional love. And where will that get her? Wow. But I think it's not just about like getting sex. I think it's about, um, well, being present in sex or during sex. Like a lot of women have trouble um, orgasming because they're not present in their body, they're not alert and awake, and they definitely do not feel safe enough, you know, to experience themselves, their pleasure with someone else, So it's about that, but also it's about, um, the feminine is quite amorphous. The masculine can be quite rigid within you. It's the feminine that really is the binding glue, you know. It's your feminine that really holds all of you together. So let's see. What is the masculine archetype? The animal. Ooh, sexy. I love it. So, what is the feminine archetype? The venom. Sexy. I know I said the same word for two different things, but like, that is how I genuinely felt. So there's a song, Me and the Devil Walking Side by Side. You know that song. So that song kept playing right before I was sitting down to do your reading, Gemini. Um, yeah, I was playing repeatedly, and the 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 first line of that chorus, it goes me and the devil, but when I was playing in my head, it was playing as greet the devil, meet the devil, free the devil. So I feel like, maybe the animal, maybe the venom, maybe both. Um, Maybe both archetypes within you have been demonized, you know? Yeah. Maybe you've been, maybe other people have been demonizing this part of you, these parts within you. And because of that, um, they never got a chance to shine. But now we are going through this journey of self acceptance with a lot of love, with a lot of cleansing, right? And and we are uncovering these aspects within you. Oh, there was this other song that kept playing in my head, "The Jealous Type" by Doja Cat. So I'm wondering, Gemini, are you feeling jealous of someone or the other? Are are you someone that has to deal with a lot of jealousy when you're in relationships? Because if so, um, this could be the reason why, the fact that these parts of you haven't been allowed to flourish within you. That's why you feel a bit jealous, a bit insecure of your place in a relationship. And, I see that. I see why that would be because, like, if your masculine has no substance to it until you know, develop joy and playfulness within you, then your sense of worth is suffering, you know. When your sense of worth is suffering, it's so easy to feel jealous. And when your feminine is dissociated or is numbed out or asleep in some way, right? Not feeling safe within your body, then you don't get to really be present for those moments of true intimacy with your partner. So that also will lead you to feel jealous a lot because, like, you know, um, you're missing out on that intimacy and you're always wondering if your partner is having those intimate moments with someone else, you know? The feminine. The feminine is very complicated, you know? The feminine is or can be very grisly. You'd expect the masculine to always be, grisly and prone to destruction, competition, and all of that. But um, the feminine is very yin energy, and yin is darkness. It's the nothing, it's the venom. So I feel like, the feminine side of you carries a sting, and that's not a bad thing. There are scorpions in this world, with a stinger. There are snakes, and all of there are roses with thorns. Okay, like what I'm trying to say is that um, poisons exist naturally in the world, and often It's the weakest or the most delicate creatures that have these poisons in them as a protective mechanism, you know. And not just that, some poisons are necessary in this world, you know, like the toad. I think it's kambu. I forgot what it's actually called. Maybe it's kambu. Kambu. Yeah. So anyway, there's this toad that has like poison on its skin, and people actually put it on their arm, and it helps them purge all of the shit within them, you know. So maybe you're kind of like that. Your feminine is powerful. It is not meant to be delicate and demure, you know. It is meant to frighten people, maybe. And that's okay, Gemini. That is absolutely okay. Um, Judging from these two archetypes, there's some real animalistic um, force coming through or waiting to come through from you. And this force is part of you, has always been part of you, but has been demonized. And we don't need to do that anymore. That's why the Heather has come up for you. Unconditional love, right? Unconditional love for this venomous feminine side of you. Yeah, you know. Poison isn't evil. It just is a form of protection. It is a form of change, even. You know, a lot of a lot of um, things that we humans use to experience um, what's the word? Yeah, different states of consciousness. It's all possible through poisons, you know. A lot of these hallucinogenic um, mushrooms and everything, they are poisonous. You know, that's why they are hallucinogenic. You know, these plants are trying to open our minds, have us think a different way, and so are you kind of similar. You are, your feminine side carries a bite to it, you know. Your feminine side is something that wants to like whip people up. Yeah, yeah. So there you have it, Gemini. Your masculine was pretty weak before, but is now on a journey of developing more joy, developing a sense of play that's eventually going to feed into your sense of worth, and it's going to pull out the animal within you, you know, so that you're someone that moves on instinct and moves with certainty and a certain lightness of spirit. You know, there's a sort of imperviousness with the animal when it comes to like the dangers out there, the darkness of life. There's a certain imperviousness to your masculine side once you go through this whole journey, you know. And your feminine side, while it's always been super juicy and full of substance, um, it is a bit dissociated, um, a bit dulled, because it never felt safe. And it never felt safe because you've never, it's like you're a rose that has decided to cut off all of her thorns. And so, of course, you get picked at by everyone, you know. So the rose needs her thorns, the snake needs her fangs and venom. And when you have your venom back, you're gonna feel safe. You're gonna say whatever it is that you want to say. And it's okay if you hurt other people. I feel like it is your right to hurt other people because, you're an agent of alchemy. You are like the catalyst. You might be a painful catalyst, but maybe you are what the world around you needs. You know, that is what this Heather staff is trying to say with its unconditional love coming through. You know, your venomous feminine side needs to exist in this world. Just as you are, you know, with all those thorns, with all of those fangs, with that venom, with those knives. She must stand dangerous, sexy, dark. And that's all. That's all we have for you, Gemini. I hope this helps. I hope this helps you really come into your power. What can I say? Have a nice day, Gemini. Bye.